The Browns have won the toss. Baltimore to kick off. Matt Stover. End over end. This is George Jones taking it out from the 1. Trips down as he crosses the 10 and comes up shy of the 15. A 12-yard return. Benny Thompson, the former Brown, making the tackle on special teams. Tim Couch has one NFL start under his belt. His teammates have nicknamed him Babe. After last week in the huddle, he predicted the touchdown pass he was going to throw to Kevin Johnson.
Whenever you can call your shot as a young quarter like that, that breeds confidence in the huddle around the offensive line, and they want to rally around Tim Couch.
The Cleveland Browns 0-2, a 43-0 loss to Pittsburgh, and a 26-9 loss at Tennessee. The give was to Terry Kirby, and not much there for him to work with. On first down, Ray Lewis, who is a tackling machine, made the stop. Cleveland offense, they went for some veteran leadership with Lomas Brown via free agency and Orlando Brown, a former Raven. Jim Pine, Dave Wollabow, Scott Rayburg, the rest of the offensive line. Terry Kirby, Mark Edwards, Johnson and Shepard the receivers, and Mark Campbell getting his first start at tight end for the injured Irv Smith. Couch will put it in the air for the first time. He does. Little dump off. It's incomplete. Tim Couch tried to dump it off to Leslie Shepard, in and out of his chest. Incomplete. The Baltimore defense, injury to Tony Siragusa on that defensive line, so Lionel Dalton steps in at tackle alongside McCrary, Larry Webster, and the former Brown, Rob Burnett. Linebackers, a great young core. Jamie Sharper, Ray Lewis, Peter Boulware. In the secondary, Jenkins, Woodson, Herring, and Starks. Woodson moving to safety this year, known for being one of the best corners in the NFL. Couch in trouble on third down, and he is sacked. He was sacked 7 times last week. That is the first for the Baltimore defense. It is Peter Boulware, his 3rd sack of the season.
Peter Boulware leads the Ravens in sacks. Comes across the edge. He's one-on-one on a tight end. Beats the tight end, Mark Campbell. He should do that. Gets the legs of Tim Couch. Whenever an all-star linebacker goes against a tight end, he should beat him every time in pass protection and pass rush.
Chris Gardocki on to punt for Cleveland. With Jermaine Lewis, one of the most dangerous return mans in the league, waiting. Gardocki gets it off. It's a high punt. Lewis backtracks, catches cleanly, and a fair catch signal made at the 35-yard line. That's where Baltimore will have it, following the 56-yard punt from Chris Gardocki. And a penalty will work against Baltimore. Our referee is Bernie Kukar.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, 86 defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Billy Davis on special teams with a crucial error.
That's surprising. They brought Billy Davis in just for special teams to be their special teams leader. Right at the end, he's airborne. You're taught as a special teams player, if you go airborne, you go for a foot in front of the kicker's foot where he's going to kick the ball, not into the kicker or the punter, and he just went too deep in the backfield and got his hands on the punter.
Cleveland could do nothing offensively in their 3 downs, but they get second life on this drive because of the penalty. Automatic first down. Handoff for Kirby, trying to find a hole. The Browns have had a tough time having success on the ground. That's a 6-yard pickup for Kirby on first down, with Jamie Sharper making the tackle.
And I, in a tough time on the ground, I think it's been atrocious for the Cleveland offense. Only 46 yards average on offense running the ball. You should be able to average that by one back. Your fullback should get 46 yards. But we talked to Terry Kirby yesterday, and he wants to make a point that I'm just not a third down wide receiver. I can take the punishment. I want to carry the ball 30 times a game. I want to be the lead horse in this backfield.
The label, though, has been around the league. Kirby is a better receiver than runner. Couch in trouble, trying to throw it away, and nearly completed the pass to his fullback, Mark Edwards, on the sideline. It's incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 4 coming up.
Now, one thing about Tim Couch that I can tell right away, he doesn't like to run with the football. He had an opportunity in the last series to pull it down and run with it and gain positive yardage. At the last minute, he tries to throw it. Here on the last play, does not think to run. He's going to throw the ball first.
We spoke with Tim Couch yesterday. He's a little bit surprised that he is the starter this early in the season. He figured right around mid-season, maybe even not till next year, that Ty Detmer would give up that starting job. It's a 3 wide receiver set on a 3rd and 4 from the 30. Inside handoff, and a good gainer for Terry Kirby. First down Cleveland as he accelerates to the 40-yard line, a 10-yard gain.
I like Chris Palmer's thinking on this. This is what you do in third medium yards. You spread everybody out. Spread them out on offense so it spreads the defense out, and you can get running lanes. That's a smart call. Chris Palmer calls the plays for the Cleveland Brown organization and their offense, the head coach. 10th year, as you can see, as a coach in the NFL, first year with the Browns. But I like that call. Spread that defense out. You'll find easier lanes to run through. You can pick up 4, 5, 6, 7 yards with that type of offense.
Palmer turned 50 earlier this week, hoping to get his first NFL win. Terry Kirby on first down, gained a couple as Ray Lewis was the first man to greet him. It'll be 2nd and 8. On the other side for Baltimore, Brian Billick, 45 years old, his first year as a head coach in the NFL. Interviewed with both the Ravens and the Browns. He was a hot commodity during the offseason after leading that Minnesota offense as the coordinator to record-setting numbers. Mark Edwards setting up in the slot. Couch on a 2nd and 8, stepping up under some pressure. Couch, pump fake, he'll run it. He's got an opening, crosses midfield into Baltimore territory, and brought down just shy of the 40-yard line. An 18-yard scamper for Tim Couch.
And that's what I like to see from Tim Couch. He holds the ball a lot in the pocket. He likes to throw the ball first, but if he can take it down and run with it, he can gain big yardage. This is what he does. Gets pressure from Peter Boulware. He goes right over Orlando Brown, but Tim Couch pulls it down, gets blocking downfield, help from his wide receivers downfield. 18-yard gain on the play. Smart play by a young quarterback.
Once again, Edwards will line up as a receiver. The fullback is in the slot. On a 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 40-yard line of the Ravens. Couch in the pocket. Forced out, trying to throw on the run down the sideline, and nobody home. Larry Webster applied the pressure in the backfield.
And Tim Couch on that play, he wanted to go left. He wanted to throw it to Kevin Johnson, which was his first read. Could not get it out to left. Rolled to the right under direction pressure and just threw the ball away. The offensive line for Cleveland's doing a decent job of giving him time to throw, but he's just not at the level as a quarterback right now that can get to that 3rd and 4th receiver. He's got to get rid of it to his 1st and 2nd look right away.
Cleveland will go with a double tight end set. Mark Campbell and Randy Palmer on a 2nd and 10 from the 40. 10th play of the drive. Couch still looking for his first completion. Straight down the middle. Incomplete. It was Kevin Johnson trying to propel himself in the air for the football. Defended by Dwayne Starks. It's 3rd and 10.
And Kevin Johnson one-on-one on the outside. This is a simple post pattern. He's got to go down the field, make a hit, boom, and head towards the post right there. Going across the deep post. He's got him beat by a step. He can't catch up to the football, but I like that play calling. You want to give confidence to your offensive team. So 2 rookies, Tim Couch and Kevin Johnson, you go for a touchdown strike.
And another rookie checks in for Cleveland, Ronnie Powell. Well, the Browns take a timeout with 10:53 to play in the first. No score. Browns on their first drive. Baltimore still looking to get the football. The city of Cleveland dislikes Art Modell more than they dislike the Baltimore Ravens. Modell brought this team from Cleveland to Baltimore for the 1996 season. Odds are he will not make a return trip to Cleveland on November 7th when these two teams meet. 3rd and 10 for the Browns. Darren Chiaverini checks into the game at wide receiver. Little safety valve, and Kirby couldn't hold on to it. So a couple of passes that Couch should have completed. One to Shepard, one to Kirby. And the Browns face 4th down.
And that's tough on a young quarterback. They want to support him with a good supporting cast, and they have. And these players have to come up with these catches, particularly if they hit him in the hands and in the chest. That's going to work on Tim Couch's psyche throughout the game. Now he's going to try to get the ball to his running backs on the other side or his tight end and find a wide receiver that he can have confidence on so he can get the ball to him that will catch the ball for him.
On that drive, Couch 0 for 5, 2 drops. Here's Chris Gardocki trying to angle one to the corner. Lewis will let it bounce, and it does. Into the end zone, a touchback for the Ravens. 40-yard punt for Gardocki. Ravens will have it 1st and 10 from their own 20 when we come back to Baltimore. Possession for the Ravens, no score, Cleveland and Baltimore. Ravens in their 4th season here in Baltimore. First time, though, they've opened up 0-2. Eric Rett and Chuck Evans in the backfield for Stoney Case. Off of play action. Incomplete. He was looking for his fullback, Evans. Stoney Case This was the opportunity that he has been waiting for. 5th year in the NFL, just his 2nd career start. Had 1 start as a member of the Arizona Cardinals. Last week came in an understudy role, replacing the ineffective Scott Mitchell, and Case showed something to Brian Billick. That's why he's the starter here today. Mitchell, by the way, has been demoted to 3rd QB on the depth chart. Justin Armour in the game as the 3rd receiver for Baltimore, along with Ismail and Lewis. On a 2nd and 10 for Case. Quick drop, quick throw, and complete to Ismail. Modest gain, though, on 2nd down. As we take a look at the Baltimore offense across the line, Jonathan Ogden, 2 straight Pro Bowls for the left tackle. Lindsey, Mitchell, Blackshear, and Harry Swain, the free agent from Denver. Backs and receivers, this is a new crew from the one that you saw a year ago. Rhett and Evans in the backfield. Rhett replaces the injured Priest Holmes. Lewis, Ismail are the receivers. Aaron Pierce, who was out of football last year, formerly of the Giants, is in at tight end. 3rd and 6 for the Ravens. Case will operate out of the shotgun. Cleveland crowding the line of scrimmage, and Case is down. He is devoured by Derek Alexander.
No one touches Derek Alexander. Cleveland goes with the overload blitz. We're waiting to see how they're going to attack Stoney Case, or they're going to attack him from the blitz. Right through the middle. No one touches him. Come on, the center's got to grab him. Jeff Mitchell, he's right on your nose. You can't miss a man that's right on your nose. You have to put your hands on him as an offensive lineman. Jeff Mitchell, the center, didn't. It's a sack for the Cleveland defense. It's their only 2nd sack of the entire season for the Browns.
And it's 3 and punt for the Ravens. Kyle Richardson, the punt. Kevin Johnson catches at the 34. Johnson looking for a blocker and looking to turn the corner. Unable to do so as he comes up just short of the 40-yard line. A 7-yard return following the 51-yard punt from Richardson. No score. Browns have it on the offensive end when we come back to 9-9 in their first 2 games. They're hoping to get on the board first here in Baltimore. And a 1st and 10. Good field position at their own 41-yard line. Once again, Mark Edwards setting up in the slot as a receiver, the fullback, so Kirby is by himself in the backfield. Play action. Count stepping up, throwing the deep ball, looking for Shepard, and it's incomplete. Deron Jenkins and Rod Woodson in on the coverage. Right now, let's get an NFL Today update. We go to New York and Jim Nance.
All right, Ian and Mark, we talked about Cordell Stewart's improvement on the NFL Today, but a bad break here. Will Blackwell bobbles it. Merton Hanks picks it up, runs it in on the interception. And then the Seahawks ran one back 94 yards on a punt return by Charlie Rogers. 14-0 up on a pair of returns. Back to Ian and Mark.
Pittsburgh hoping to stay undefeated, opening the year at 2-0. One of those victories came against the Browns, a blowout on opening night. On 2nd and 10. Couch looking for his first completion. There it is to Terry Kirby, breaking 1 tackle but could not break loose as he got ahead to the 45-yard line. Jamie Sharper the stop after a 4-yard pickup. 3rd and 6 coming up.
The offensive line did a decent job in the screen, but you've got to be an actor. You've got to help your quarterback out. When you run a screen, you've got to convince the defense it's a pass to attack the quarterback. And if you don't do it the correct way, the defensive lineman will get lazy on the line of scrimmage and hang around. On that play they did. It wasn't a big play for the offense, but for Tim Couch, I like the way he's taking his shots downfield, dumping it off. He's taking his chance. He just needs his receivers to catch the ball.
On a 3rd and 6, Couch out of the shotgun. Ravens are coming. Couch throwing high for the intended receiver Johnson. Incomplete and a late flag. Kim Herring, the strong safety, was involved in the play. Browns want the interference call. Bernie Kukar will tell us.
22 defense. First down.
Dwayne Starks, the cornerback.
You're right, Ian. That was an awful late flag. He's on the top of the screen on the outside. Kevin Johnson makes a move. He gets 5 yards right there to touch him. I don't know. That's awful close.
That was not a catchable ball.
And it was 15 yards over his head. You're right.
So the Browns benefit from another penalty. Earlier in this game, Baltimore would have had terrific field position. Gardocki was punting from his own end zone, but a roughing the punter penalty, 15 yards, automatic first down. Edwards and Kirby in the backfield. This is Terry Kirby finding an opening. And Terry Kirby crossing the 45-yard line for an 8-yard gain on first down. Kirby is running with some confidence.
And that was just smash mouth on the right side. Scott Rayberg, Orlando Brown opened up the hole. They parted the seas for Kirby. He didn't get touched until he was 6-7 yards downfield. Outstanding job on the right side of the offensive line for the Cleveland Browns.
Kirby's career high in rushing yards in a season, 559. He's never really been the featured back in an offense in Miami and San Francisco. 5 carries, 28 yards for Kirby today. On a 2nd and 2. Strange start to that play as Couch turned around, handing the football off to Kirby. Somebody had turned the wrong way.
Absolutely. And Peter Boulware, the linebacker, was deep in the backfield along with Rob Burnett. No one blocked them. As soon as he got the ball, he saw Ravens jersey, the purple in front of him. He had absolutely nowhere to go. Miscommunications up front.
Formation. Offense. The wide receiver on the right side covered the slot man. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
But not only that, there's miscommunication up front on the offensive line of the Cleveland Browns. There's no way that you release 2 defenders in the backfield that deep on a running play. You've got to get a hat on a hat, and obviously on that play they did not.
A loss of 4 on that play. It'll be 3rd and 6 for Cleveland. .7:40 to play here in the first quarter. Very little offense so far. 7 defensive backs for Baltimore on this 3rd and 6. A 4-receiver look for the Browns. Shotgun formation for Couch. Deep drop, pump fake. Couch, tuck and run. Looking for the corner and diving for the marker. Did he get it is the question. Rob Burnett was chasing him as Couch fell out of bounds. It looks like it's going to be just a little bit short, depending upon the spot.
It is 4th down. The defense of Baltimore, they only rush 3. That gives the quarterback Tim Couch time. He can't throw the ball. He pumps it, looks for somebody downfield, then he just takes it on his own, tries to make something happen, and that's selling out for the team. That's giving 100% effort.
4th down for the Browns. A decision for Chris Palmer. And they are going to punt. Chris Gardocki coming onto the field with just over 7 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. What about this decision, Mark?
I'd go for it. You've got to build confidence in this team. You're 0-2. You're the worst NFL team offensively in the league. Get some confidence going. Get it going. Depend on your offensive line. Rely on them. Show them that you believe in them. Go for the 4th down.
Gardocki will try to look for the corner once again. Didn't get it last time and doesn't get it this time. A net punt of only 19 yards. Ravens will have it at their own 20 when we come back. One of America's most enduring images, the Goodyear blimp floating overhead, providing our aerial views for today's game. Beautiful stadium here in Baltimore. 4th season the Ravens have played here in this city after leaving the city of Cleveland. More on the emotional ties involved later in the game. A handoff, Eric Rett driving ahead to the 25-yard line. Good gainer on first down of 5 yards. Take a look at the Browns defense. On that defensive line, McCormick, Ball, Darius Holland stepping in for the injured John Yurkovich, and Derek Alexander, who registered sack number 19.5 of his career. Miller, Wally Rayner, a 4th-round steal at middle linebacker, and Raheem Abdullah getting his first start. McCutcheon, Fuller, Pope, and McNeil, the secondary. Fuller shifting over from cornerback to free safety. Case throw and complete. He's got Chuck Evans breaking a tackle. Evans accelerating to midfield into Cleveland territory. 26-yard hookup. Derek Alexander, the defensive lineman, among those chasing him down and finally bringing Evans to the ground.
This is a simple play-action fake. Dump it right to the fullback, but Evans does an outstanding job of running downfield, cutting against the grain, making the defenders miss. This is a big fullback. Ryan Billick loves this guy. Says he's a great blocker, can catch out of the backfield. He does all the little things that make you drool as a head coach.
Billick knows him from his days in Minnesota. Pitching it back. on a flea flicker. Stoney Case in some heavy traffic, and it will be a loss on the plays, brought down shy of midfield. Right now, let's get an NFL Today report. New York and Jim Nantz.
Hey, the champs are down again, Ian. The Broncos at Tampa, and look at the Bucs. Mike Allstott, they're not going to stop them. 28 yards into the end zone, however, as we speak. The Broncos have just recovered a fumble. Let's go back to you in Baltimore.
Denver still looking for their first win. It's been well documented. The 4 teams that went to the championship games last year struggling a bit this year. Jacksonville, though, is a team that you have to keep an eye on in the AFC.
Out of those 4 teams, the record's 1-7. That's amazing.
On a bootleg, Case throwing on the run and complete. He found Armour at the 35-yard line. A 16-yard pass play, and Stoney Case made something happen on the rollout.
And Justin Armour is a guy that Stoney Case is going to look for. He's the biggest wide receiver they have. He always finds a hole. This is called a dash play. You dash to the right, you sprint to the left. He dashes to the right, away from the defense, and finds Justin Armour. What a catch, sliding down. Puts the ball exactly where only his wide receiver can catch, and he comes up with a reception. That's outstanding relationship between wide receiver and quarterback.
Armour won a Super Bowl ring in Denver last year, kind of in that Ed McCaffrey role. Now with the Baltimore Ravens and a 1st and 10 at the Cleveland 35. Ravens are on the move. Dump off to the flat. Eric Redd, who plays with so much emotion, always talking out there on the field. Harry Swain told us, an offensive lineman, that he can hear Redd talking as he passes him, trying to drive through a hole as a running back.
I'll tell you what, as an offensive lineman, you're out there blocking, all of a sudden you hear your running back, okay, stay with him. Okay, don't go to the left, go to the right. And it's like, what's going on here? But I like Eric Redd. Before the game, I'm on the field. He's talking to everybody. He's talking to officials. He's talking to coaches. He's talking to teammates, defensive players. He's a guy who's a little chatterbox, but he brings everybody up and rises to a different level.
5-yard pass play, Case to Redd. And a 2nd and 5 for Baltimore at the 30. And off for Redd. Kept the legs moving as he came up shy of the 25-yard line. Also, one thing Redd told us the other day, he went over 100 yards last week. Everybody said, hey, welcome back. He said, hey, I didn't go anywhere. It just was circumstances didn't allow me to be the #1 guy. He's got a chance to nail down the #1 running back spot with the injury to Holmes and his performance on the field.
He does, and I think he will. Here's a player that had all the tools. If you look back at Eric Redd's pass, he's Rookie of the Year in the NFL, 2 consecutive years over 1,000 yards. Then bad circumstances happened to him at Tampa. He held out. That's what really cost him a starting position. Now he's here at Baltimore, and he's getting an opportunity again to be the back he should be.
And an opportunity to get the first down. He will not. Denied on a 3rd and 2 by Wally Rayner, who has been turning some heads in the city of Cleveland. He has been a starter at middle linebacker day 1 as a rookie. And Rayner is not missing a beat.
That's man style right there. One-on-one middle linebacker. That's a mentality. Take him on. And we talked to Wally yesterday, and he told us, hey, he's going to talk. Redd's going to talk all the game. The only way I'm going to talk is I'm going to talk with my pads. And on that play, he did.
A 44-yard field goal attempt for Matt Stover. Ravens trying to strike first. The kick on the way. And it is good. Baltimore with a 3-0 lead. The old Browns against the new Browns. Ravens want to be known simply as the Baltimore Ravens. They lead it 3-0. I think Baltimore with the early lead. Stoney Case getting his first start in a Ravens uniform. He was actually a member of the Colts in the preseason. They cut him after the first preseason game, and Brian Billick scooped him up. And all of a sudden, 3 weeks later, in week 3 of the NFL season, he's the starting quarterback. Ronnie Powell off the kickoff by Matt Stover. Powell crossing the 25-yard line and gets ahead to the 28. A 19-yard return. Monday on CBS. If you think football is dangerous, imagine being the only man in a house full of women. I think Mark can relate to that. Don't miss the new hit comedy Ladies Man, Monday, right after the King of Queens, here on CBS.
We do have something in common.
Yeah. 2 daughters and a wife. That's 3 against 1 in your house.
That's true. I'm the last one that ever gets to use the bathroom. I'm the last one that ever really gets to eat, and I'm the biggest in the house. And I always get a say, but it's always last.
Well, you're certainly getting big enough portions, taking a look at your waistline these days.
All right. Let's not go there.
Coming up on 2 minutes to play here in the first off of play action. Couch throwing. Mark Edwards, the fullback. Gang tackled at the 35-yard line. A 7-yard gain on first down. Let's get another NFL Today report as we head to New York and Jim Nance.
All right, Ian, the Broncos are back after a fumble recovery on a punt, and it's Greasy to McCaffrey to square the game all 7-7 their first quarter. Back to you.
You know, Jim, you have to figure at some point Denver is going to start clicking again as long as Greasy can get comfortable in this offense.
And that's the first touchdown by an offense scored on that Tampa Bay defense. That's a Bonnet defense. I think it's just going to take a week or two for them to get together and get in sync.
On 2nd and 3, Kirby trying to find a hole, and nothing developed for him as he's brought down at the line of scrimmage. Combination of Michael McCrary and Ray Lewis on that tackle.
And Ray Lewis is just a monster in the middle. He leads the defense, no question about it. He's led this team in tackles every year he's been in the NFL. Pro Bowler. If you're looking at a prototype middle linebacker, that's what you want in Ray Lewis. Not real tall, just a little bit over 6 foot, but he's 240, and he can fill the gaps from tackle to tackle, and he can also chase you down from behind. I like Ray Lewis as a middle linebacker.
Marvin Lewis, the defensive coordinator for Baltimore, no relation, told us Ray Lewis is Mr. Everything on this defense. On 3rd down. Quick throw, and it's incomplete. Kevin Johnson, the intended receiver, defended by Dwayne Starks, and the Browns will punt with 40 seconds to play here in the first.
That was a nice play by Dwayne Starks. Looks like he got there just a little bit early. Kevin Johnson, you can't waste that motion. Go make your hit. He did get there a little bit early. I think Baltimore got away with a little bit on that, but that's a player that's 2nd year in the league, a little more experienced than the rookie, Kevin Johnson.
Chris Gardocki on for his 3rd punt of the afternoon. Lewis waiting. Jermaine Lewis just wants an opportunity. On a bounce, he'll get a shot here. Out of bounds, just shy of the 30-yard line. A 43-yard punt, 8-yard return for Jermaine Lewis. Next Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern, Home Depot College Football here on CBS zooms in on the SEC. Mike DeBose leads the 3-1 Alabama Crimson Tide against Steve Spurrier's undefeated and 3rd-ranked Florida Gators down in the Swamp. Check your local listings beginning with Volkswagen. College Football Today right here on CBS. On a 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line for Baltimore, Ravens have a 3-0 lead on the Cleveland Browns. Red in the backfield, they'll get the call. Eric Rett, he's got some room. First down and then some. Eric Rett forced out of bounds as he crosses the 45-yard line. The left side of that line, Ogden and Lindsey providing the hole.
Big Jonathan Ogden right there gets his hands on the defense. And watch 75. Just push him out of the way. Stay with him. Keep your shoulders down and keep pushing. Eric Rett doesn't get touched. They just cleared the way for Eric Rett to get through the hole. But Eric Rett, as I said before, 2 consecutive years, 1,000 yards. Sat out at Tampa Bay. They put him on the bench. They made an example out of him. He's getting his opportunity finally. He's the guy that says, hey, I've always been there. I've never gone away. I'm just getting an opportunity now.
17-yard gain, a 1st and 10 at the 47. Here's Rett trying to push the pile, and does into Cleveland territory as he crosses midfield. A 5-yard gain. Wally Raynard making the tackle, and that will be the final play here in the first quarter. Eric Rett still talking.
One of the defenders for Cleveland at the end of the play knocked his helmet off. He's letting them know about it right now.
End of the first quarter here in Baltimore with a score. The Ravens 3, the Browns nothing. We'll return to Baltimore right after this message. Kula, the first man to get there. Ian Eagle along with Mark May, our entire CBS crew on hand here in Baltimore. And I think the emotional ties in this game, the Ravens fans don't feel it as much as the Cleveland fans do. Browns, there's a lot more bitterness on their end because they lost their team to this city.
Right. The Raven fans feel like, hey, forget about it. Get over it. You've got a team now. We've had our team. This is our 4th year. We are the Ravens now. Forget about it.
And also, Baltimore fans will be the first to tell you, hey, we went out without a team for such a long time when we lost the Colts to Indianapolis. Happy to have the NFL back. Case on a rollout, a wobbling pass to the sideline, goes out of bounds. It'll be 4th down for Baltimore.
I like the way they're mixing their offense up with Stoney Case, but they just have to start converting on 3rd down. They haven't been very good in 3rd downs. They're 6 for 27 coming into the game, only 22%. They've got to find a way to capitalize to help their quarterback on 3rd down to move the chains and get first downs. I think they have to stick with the run a little bit more in Eric Rett.
Kyle Richardson, his first punt, 51 yards. Kevin Johnson waiting, standing at his own 10. High punt. Johnson forced to give the fair catch signal. He does, and the Browns will be pinned back with a 1st and 10 from their own 10. When we return, Ravens leading it early in the second quarter. That's scoring we've seen so far. 3-0 Baltimore in front of Cleveland. Injury to backup Baltimore fullback Tony Vincent playing on special teams. He was helped off the field. Looked like an apparent leg injury. Cleveland pinned back on a 1st and 10. They'll spot the football at the 11-yard line. Kirby by himself in the backfield. Edwards again lining up as a receiver in the slot. Here's Kirby moving ahead to the 15-yard line. Gained about 4 on 1st down. Rob Burnett combining with Lionel Dalton to make the tackle.
Defensive front of the Baltimore Ravens being a force, but what the offense of Cleveland's trying to do, they've had success earlier when they ran the football to spread their offense out. And I mean by taking your fullback, spreading them out in the slot position, get your wide receivers wide, trying to get the defense to go out and match up with them so you can create rushing lanes for the offense.
Only 5 yards passing so far for Tim Couch, the #1 pick in the NFL draft. Couch, he'll run it. Couch has a 1st down and slides down to the turf at the 30-yard line. New set of downs for the Browns to work with. Ray Lewis was the man chasing him.
And I like this play by Tim Couch. It's a 3-step drop. Boom, 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 turn and fire the ball. Your receiver's covered. What do? You don't want to waste time because the linemen are just going to set and cut. Couch pulls the ball down, finds an opening, and sprints downfield. The block on Michael McCrary on the outside, the All-Pro. The old man, Lomas Brown, ties him up. He's got the hands on him. Good grip, Lomas. 15 years in the NFL. He's a 7-time Pro Bowler.
3 carries, 37 yards for Tim Couch. No rushing yards on this play. Ray Lewis. And a huge loss on 1st down.
All right, what was that little dance at the end? Was that like the Raven he's doing at the end of a sack? But you've got to block. You've got to find Ray Lewis. He's going to come in on the blitz. No one touches. It's a little palm stunt. TT by the tackle. The back's supposed to pick him up. The offensive lineman, Rayberg, you're supposed to look at the defense. If you turn your shoulders, you're going to give a crease to the blitzer. That's what happened on that play. Ray Lewis found the crease, went unscathed right in the middle of the field. Tim Couch never had a chance.
Do you think that dance will catch on?
Oh, I like that. That little Raven dance.
It's a
nice.
9-yard loss on 1st down. 3 receivers set for Cleveland as flags come down.
Ball starts. 79 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That's Scott Rayburg getting the start for the injured Steve Zahersky, who's out with a knee injury.
And Scott Rayburg on the last play. Here he is right there in the middle of the line. You'll see him move. He gave up the sack on the stunt. Now, on the stunt, you're supposed to pass him off. That affects as an offensive lineman. So when you come up to the next play, the best thing for an offensive lineman, you can't have a memory. You forget the last play. Don't think about it. Don't dwell about it. Just move on from there. Sometimes it creeps in there, and you've got to get back and concentrate on what you're supposed to do.
Mixture of youth and experience on this Browns offense. You mentioned Lomas Brown. Tim Couch was 7 years old when Brown was a rookie in the NFL. A deep drop. Dump it off for Terry Kirby. Unable to create following the catch. And they actually lost yardage. Ray Lewis again. He has been everywhere for this Baltimore defense.
And he's a one-man wrecking crew. Doesn't matter if it's 1st, 2nd, 3rd down. He will find a way to make the play. It's tough to run screens on a warrior like Ray Lewis because he's going to read it. As soon as the quarterback drops, makes the fake. When he backpedals, if he's not looking downfield, Ray Lewis is smart enough now to read the quarterback to get to the flat where the running back is and follow him there because it's going to be a screen.
I'll tell you what, Mark, he could be the best tackler in the league right now.
He's phenomenal. He's a guy that you want to watch play. You come to the stadium to see players playing defense, you come to see Ray Lewis.
3rd and 26. Couch loses the football, and the Ravens trample on it. Michael McCrary recovers the fumble. There is a flag on the play.
75 offense. Penalty is declined. 1st down.
What a turn of events. This Ravens defense just rising to the occasion, play after play.
And you talk about a big play. Michael McCrary got the 3-bagger here. First, he gets the sack. He goes around the 15-year veteran Ray Brown on the outside to the right of your screen. He goes around Ray on the soft shoulder, gets the quarterback Tim Couch, knocks the ball down. Peter Bowler knocks it out of his hand, but right on the spot is there Michael McCrary to pick up the fumble. But one-on-one against Lomas Brown. Just gets on the soft shoulder. It's speed by Peter Bowler. Tim Couch doesn't have a chance. That's coming from the backside. Great defensive hustle of attacking the quarterback by the Baltimore defense.
On first and goal. The handoff. Eric Rett could not get into the end zone. He comes up shy. Marcus Spriggs got him down low and prevented the touchdown. It'll be second and goal. Tim Couch. He was dealing with some pressure in the backfield. Is that just a rookie mistake, or could it happen to anyone?
It could happen to anyone. On that situation, his back was turned. It came from the backside. He never had a chance. He couldn't even get set and throw the football. That's something he's just going to have to grow through.
A double tight end set. On second and goal. Armour, the motion man. Off of play action. Case, a bootleg. Case will run it himself. Touchdown, Ravens. Stoney Case, the rushing touchdown, a flag on the play. Some extracurricular activity following the score.
And that was just frustration by Marlon Forbes, the free safety. At the end of the play, he'd already crossed the goal line. He came across the top of his face, hit him in the helmet.
These two teams still going at it. Harry Swain and Darius Holland.
But Ian, this is how a rivalry's built. This is how a rivalry is really built in the NFL. It's on the field of play where you get frustration, the fans get into it, and these are plays they remember for 5, 10, 15 years from now.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 21 defense. That's a 15-yard penalty. Will be assessed on the kickoff.
Marquise Smith, the rookie out of Cal, the penalty.
Ooh, right there at the end of the play. Both of them sandwiched him right at the end of the play. That little extra oomph by Marquise Smith. But Stoney Case, you fake it to your running back, Eric Rett. It's an open boot to the outside. You've got an option here. Throw the ball or pull it down and run it. Nobody on the defense is close. He pulls it down and runs it in for the touchdown.
And he did take a shot as he took it into the end zone. Matt Stover tacks on the extra point. And the Baltimore Ravens now own a 10-0 lead. We are in the second quarter. Our coverage continues after this. Temperature in the 70s, mostly clear skies here in the city of Baltimore, and the Ravens with a 10-0 lead on Cleveland. 10:31 to play here in the first half. Stoney Case scored the touchdown. Michael McCrary, the defensive lineman, recovered the fumble to set it up for Baltimore as they extend their lead. On the kickoff, they assessed the 15 yards off of that penalty, so easy pickings for the touchback for Baltimore. Cleveland will have it at their own 20. Stoney Case, the rushing touchdown to give the Ravens a 10-0 edge. Case is that athleticism and that mobility. I don't know if Scott Mitchell can make that play.
Not at all. He's not quick enough, doesn't have the feet, and that's what he was looking for, the change at the quarterback position, and he's getting it from Stoney Case.
Browns hoping to develop some kind of rhythm offensively. Terry Kirby on a first down run ahead to the 25-yard line, a pickup of 5 on first down. You know, with Stoney Case, everybody asks, well, where'd you get the first name Stoney? His mother actually chose the name after her favorite TV show with a character named Stoney Burke back in the 60s, and Jack Lord was actually the actor that played Stoney Burke.
He's got a brother named Stormy.
Yeah, it should be a weatherman, don't you think?
Were they born in Bedrock?
Actually, no, in Texas. Second and 5. Bootleg off of play action. On a rollout. Couch forced out of bounds. Didn't have the angle, and he picked up maybe a yard and a half. Rob Burnett chased him down, the former Brown. That's another storyline here. The former Browns currently suiting up for the Ravens. You've got Rob Burnett, Benny Thompson, Larry Webster, Stevan Moore, and Matt Stover. And Burnett, this is an emotional game for him as well, going against a former teammate in Orlando Brown. The two suited up together in Cleveland and then in Baltimore.
And two of the biggest boos, one for Tim Couch by this Baltimore Ravens crowd. The second one was Orlando Brown, the ex-Raven.
On a 3rd and 3, dime package for Baltimore, shotgun formation for Cleveland. Low throw, is it a catch? No. Chris McAllister defending Kevin Johnson. And the Browns will punt again. We'll see Chris Gardocki, who will apparently have a very large role in this game here today. Fourth punt for him.
I'll tell you what, though, Ryan, what Chris Palmer has to do with Tim Couch, get him on the sidelines. You're the offensive coordinator and head coach. Get him calmed down. Shorten the offensive package. Say, this is what we're going to do. We've had success running this play, this play, and this play. These are the passes we're going to have to go to. We need to start moving the changes.
Jermaine Lewis averaging just over 9 yards a return. Not a great punt off the foot from Gardocki. Does take a Cleveland roll. And the Ravens will have it following the 35-yard punt from Gardocki. Ravens take over just shy of the 40-yard line, leading 10-0. Gorgeous area here in Baltimore, just by the water, and what a job this city has done in rebuilding this town and making it a desirable place to come visit as a tourist or as a broadcaster for that matter. Baltimore leading it 10-0 over Cleveland, and the Ravens want some more. It's a 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line. Still 9:09 left in the first half. And off Eric Rhett. Flag comes down, and Rhett ran into a brick wall in the body of Jameer Miller. Bernie Kukar holding against the Ravens, so they'll back it up. Chris Palmer, the 11th head coach in Cleveland Browns history.
61 offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Everett Lindsey, the left guard, caught on that play. Palmer was the offensive coordinator in Jacksonville, stints in New England and Houston, head coach at Boston University and the University of New Haven. Also coached in the CFL, the USFL. You get the story here. He's got a lot of experience finally getting an opportunity.
You believe this? Back in the mid-'70s and late '70s, Chris Palmer recruited me out of high school for Colgate.
No.
Oh, yes.
Finding the tight end, Aaron Pierce, and crossing the 40-yard line, so they get back the yardage off the penalty. A 13-yard pass play. Raheem Abdullah making the tackle. Now, don't you have to be smart to go to Colgate?
That's what I thought at the time. It was one of those situations where I was like Marv Thronberg. Why are they recruiting me? It's like, you know, hey. But they gave me an opportunity, but I made the right choice. I think I went on to the University of Pittsburgh, but we discussed that the other day, and he reminded me. I kind of had forgotten it, but he remembered.
Play action, another bootleg. Case stepping up in some trouble. The athleticism of Stoney Case and the mobility. A first down and then some as he crosses midfield into Cleveland territory. A number of defenders had a chance to get him, including Roy Barker and Mike Thompson for the Browns. 15-yard scamper.
And Stoney Case, play action fake. He wants to run the boot, the open boot. Nobody's open. He gets pressured. He makes something happen. The offensive linemen start picking up defenders right there. Stoney Case pulls the ball down and gets the first down for the Baltimore Ravens. That's just something that Scott Mitchell would never be able to do with this offense that Stoney Case brings to this Baltimore Raven offense.
Line of scrimmage is the 42. Greg DeLong setting up in the backfield, the tight end in front of Eric Rhett. And the play never gets off. Flags come down.
And that's frustrating for a defense. You do your job downfield, cover the wide receivers. The defensive linemen rush the quarterback and get pressure on him.
False start. Illegal snap on the center offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Jeff Mitchell and Brian Billick not pleased.
See, that should never happen. The center knows the snap count better than anybody else because he's the first one to touch the ball, and he's the only one to touch the ball besides the quarterback, so he knows the snap count. And right there, that little herky-jerky movement, that cost you.
It didn't look pretty from the beginning. It looked like Case wasn't expecting the football, and that happened to be the case. Excuse the pun. On a 1st and 15, Stoney Case brought down back in Baltimore territory. Big Jerry Ball. Derek Alexander was among those applying pressure. And Ball finished off Case.
And Jerry Ball should give Alexander a high five because he forced him right back to the teeth of the Cleveland defense into Big Jerry Ball. And he's the leader on this defense. Obviously, he's the oldest player, 13th year in the NFL. Played with Minnesota last year. He's the type of guy that all these young players, once they get crazy out there in defense, he refocuses and say, hey, settle down. This is what we need to do. Concentrate on what you're supposed to do.
We have seen improvement. 3-time Pro Bowler Jerry Ball on this Cleveland defense. They now have 3 sacks on the day. Case on a rollout, throwing to the sideline. Browns claim it's incomplete, looking for Jermaine Lewis. And Corey Fuller was there defensively.
Right on the outside, it's a simple out play. Plant, turn to the outside. Just a little bit late. That's the timing situation between quarterback and wide receiver that they have to work on between Jermaine Lewis and Stoney Case. And Stoney Case told us, he said, I got out there against Pittsburgh. It was like a new world to me because I wasn't in the huddle with the first team ever. It's my first time in my life I've been with these guys, so I'm really trying to figure out the little nuances between quarterback, wide receiver, and the offensive line and running back.
0 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. This is a 3rd and 20 for Case out of the shotgun. Stepping up, throwing over the middle, knocked up in the air, and intercepted. Picked off by Dalen McCutcheon. And McCutcheon is brought down at the 45-yard line. A good break for the Browns as that ball went directly up in the air and a 12-yard return off the pick for the rookie out of USC.
And he's pressured at the end of the play. Watch Stoney K step up. He's going to get nailed by John Theory. You're not going to see it here, but he gets nailed as soon as he throws the ball. The ball is thrown in there almost into double coverage, but he was covered by the Cleveland defense. As soon as that ball spit up in the air, Ian, you don't have a chance as an offensive player.
That is the Browns' first takeaway of the 1999 season. They had a week till week 3.
Third game, first takeaway. That just shows you that this is a rebuilding process starting from day one from scratch for the Browns.
Obviously, McCutcheon's first career interception. Now a 1st and 10 for Cleveland at the 45. Little dump off for Kirby, cutting it back inside and moving ahead to the 50-yard line. Ray Lewis, first man to get there, and a 5-yard gain on the pass play, first down.
And here's a situation. They're getting good field position. Now let's do something with it. This is a team that struggles just to make first down. And Tim Couch, you want to put him in this situation to be successful as much as possible to build his confidence. They need to move the chains. They need points. But first of all, this offense, they just want to get first downs, and they haven't been able to do that this season.
2nd and 5. The quarterback comparison so far. Couch has done it on the ground as opposed through the air. And off for Kirby. He is brought down low just before he could extend to the first down marker. Larry Webster with that low tackle, and it will be a 3rd and short for Cleveland.
And this defense, a lot of people don't credit this defense. And Marvin Lewis is a defensive coordinator. The only holdover of the entire staff was Marvin Lewis because he's done such a great job with this defense in the past.
A couple of defensive players told us that was so important in continuing the chemistry that they developed last year to this year. On a 3rd and 1, pushing the pile ahead, and enough for the first down, Terry Kirby. So they'll move the chains as the Browns cross the 45-yard line of Baltimore. Cleveland still looking for its first points.
Marvin Lewis, the defensive coordinator, he's not happy about that 3rd and 1 situation, but he's done an outstanding job in the NFL. He should have gotten interviews for head coaching positions. 3 Pro Bowlers off his defense last year of a team that didn't have a winning record, and his defense is always in the middle of the pack or better, and the Ravens have not had a winning record since they've been in Baltimore.
And because of Brian Billick getting the head job here in Baltimore, Lewis has been forced to get to know the computer a little bit more because that's Billick's background. Couch flushed out of the pocket, throwing high and incomplete. It was Leslie Shepard, the intended man on the sideline.
Michael McCreary's been quiet except for the fumble recovery, and the old guy, Lomas Brown, over the 15-year veteran, they faced each other once before, and Lomas has all the tricks. Just take him upfield with one hand, push him out of the way. Hey, that's easy pickings on Michael McCreary. And Michael McCreary's a workhorse. He goes at it for 4 quarters, and Lomas Brown said he played him once in 1997. I didn't practice for 2 weeks. I went out and played the great Michael McCreary, and I shut him out.
213th career NFL game for Lomas Brown. On a 2nd and 10. Deep drop. Couch brought down. There's McCreary. First man to get there, Rob Burnett, also a part of the play.
And that was nothing but hustle and work by McCreary. He goes all the way inside, stunts through the middle. Lomas Brown has a hand on him. He lets him go, looking for something to come to the outside. Makes a move to the outside, rolls back inside. Look, he goes all the way around the guard, all the way to the inside. You're supposed to switch that. Lomas Brown can't do anything about it, but it's the hustle of Michael McCreary. I said it before that play. He's a workhorse. He will work every play for 4 quarters to get to the quarterback relentlessly.
Leslie's getting the broadcast funneled into his helmet.
Maybe he's listening.
How about timing? 4th sack for the Baltimore defense. Couch throwing into traffic and nearly picked off. Double coverage. Rod Woodson knocked it away. He is getting used to his new position of free safety, and he told us he looks at it as a challenge. He's best known for his cornerback skills.
And the great one, Rod Woodson, he made the 75th NFL anniversary team, says at the free safety position, I can see more of the field, and I've got a lot more to cover, so it's a challenge for me rather than being at cornerback where I can take an angle and I've got to worry about one wide receiver, and I've got to worry about the entire offense.
Double coverage on Leslie Shepard. 5th punt of the day for Chris Gardocki. This one is a high one. Lewis lets it bounce. It hangs around. Now the Browns will down it inside the 10-yard line. Mark Edwards, the fullback, getting there to jump on the football. Next Sunday at noon Eastern, the football at the 6-yard line. Packed house here in Baltimore. The Ravens and Browns, first ever meeting between these two teams. Cleveland making its first trip into the Baltimore area since 1980. Eric Rett getting the call and putting the helmet down to move across the 10-yard line. And a pickup of 5 on first down. Jameer Miller, the linebacker, will be given credit for the tackle.
And Jameer Miller's a guy for this defense for Cleveland. He's a guy that played at Arizona last year, 150 tackles for the Arizona Cardinals last year. He's a guy that can really set the tone for the Cleveland defense in the future. They're going to hang his hat on him. But Eric Rett made a nice run. Herman McCormick came around on a stunt, tried to go at his head, ducked under that, and picked up 5 yards on the play.
Justin Armour is in as a third receiver. We'll call it 2nd and 6 for Case. Some movement left side of that Cleveland defensive line. Case throwing to the sideline, incomplete. Qadri Ismail, the intended receiver. Ravens fans wanted a penalty. Corey Fuller in on the coverage.
Qadri wanted a little help on that play. He knew he was pointing and coming back to the ball. He didn't have enough room, but that ball was uncatchable. It wasn't even close. He pushes off the line of scrimmage against the defender, Corey Fuller. Makes his plant right here, turns for the ball, but the ball is 15 yards over his head, and plus he slips on the play. There's no penalty there.
You know, Qadri is known as the Missile. Obviously his brother, the Rocket. His mom, some have called the launching pad. You like it?
I like it. That's good. I like it.
On a 3rd and 4, Case throwing and picked off. Lenoy Jones. And a fumble after the interception. Ravens get it back, or was he down? Baltimore gets it back. Qadri Ismail able to recover.
There was an interception. The ball was fumbled. Recovered by Baltimore, first down.
Wow.
Nice job on the interception by Lenoy Jones, but the first thing you do as a defender, you're not used to running the ball, get on the ground. Heck of a tackle on the play by Qadri Ismail, forcing that ball out, and then he comes up with a fumble recovery. Nice job by Ismail. That's outstanding. You got to turn into a defensive back. He did. Came up with a turnover.
That's when you know things aren't going right for you.
That's true.
You come up with a big play defensively, and then you cough it right up. On a 1st and 10 for Baltimore, Eric Rett across the 20-yard line. Got ahead to the 21 for a pickup of 3. Marquez Pope, the strong safety, the tackle. Ravens would have been punting if it was just an incomplete pass.
And it turned out it worked out well for Brian Billick and his Baltimore Ravens, and he's wiping the brow of sweat saying, phew. Of course, he just picked up an extra 20 yards on the play.
They spot the football at the 22, so a 2nd and 6. Give is to Rett. There's a lane for him. Eric Rett accelerating to the 40-yard line. 18-yard run for Eric Rett, and Jeff Mitchell, the center, just opened that hole for him.
At the end of the play, first down. He's fired up.
Here in the first half in Baltimore, Ravens in front 10-0. Coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report, Jim, Randy, Craig, and Jerry will have all the scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report. Ravens with a 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line. They are moving the football following the fumble off the interception from Lenoy Jones. Case standing tall in the pocket. Incomplete. Ismail, the intended receiver, over his head once again. Dalen McCutcheon in on the coverage.
And that's one of those balls that when Stoney Case comes in Monday morning and watch the game tape, he's going to take back and say, that's a mistake. I shouldn't try to throw that into double coverage. He had a defender in front of him, defender behind his wide receiver. You never try to drop the ball in the bucket like that, particularly when you've got the ball and you're moving.
5 straight incomplete passes for Case, 2 of them interceptions. On a give for Rett, running into a pile, and not much to work with as he got across the 40-yard line. Maybe a pickup of 1.5. It'll be 3rd and 8 coming up. And the Ravens taking their time with 1:38 left in the second quarter.
They want to milk that clock, and there's Stoney Case, the eyes of Stoney Case. I think he's much better on the run, Iron. Thus far in this game, when he rolls out of the pocket on those open boots, the dashes, the sprints, he can throw the ball down the field. When he sits in the middle of the pocket, he hasn't been effective.
Justin Armour comes in as a 3rd receiver with Ismail and Lewis. On a 3rd and 8 from the 42. Trying to buy some extra time out of the shotgun. Case stepping up, throwing, sideline, a wobbly ball again, and it's incomplete. That was Armour in the area in which Case threw it to, but the Ravens will be forced to punt. So the Cleveland Browns, who have not done all that much offensively, have to be happy that they're just trailing by a 10-0 score, and they still have some time on the clock to work with here at the late stages second quarter.
Where most teams are about 30, 31 minutes, they're 44 minutes, and they've done a pretty good job putting pressure on quarterback Stoney Case in this Baltimore offense.
Damon Gibson awaiting the punt from Kyle Richardson. Gibson, a former Bengal, catches at the 14. Trying to get to the outside. He's brought down. Great pursuit by Jamie Sharper. 45-yard punt and 8-yard return for Gibson. Both teams 0-2, looking for their first wins of the season. Both head coaches looking for their first NFL victories. Darren Chiaverini in as a third wide receiver on the draw for Terry Kirby. Got to head to the 23, maybe 24-yard line. Combination of Fernando Smith and Peter Boulware bringing him down. NASDAQ halftime report. Tim Couch avoiding the sack as he twirled out of some heavy traffic, but he was forced out of bounds lunging forward. Rob Burnett had a chance to bring him down.
That just shows the strength of the young quarterback, Tim Couch. I like his fight. He wants to make something happen. He just doesn't have the components around him. Throughout the NFL, now with the 31st team in the NFL, the talent pool is very thin, and you really don't have a lot of depth to find quality players for an entire football team. It's going to take a few years for the Browns through the draft to build that foundation, but I think they've got the right guy in Chris Palmer.
On a 3rd and 6 from the 25. Couch out of the shotgun. 28 seconds to play first half. Handoff, Kirby breaking one tackle. Had to get to the 31-yard line. Did not get there. And the Ravens want a timeout. Michael McCrary brought him down. Timeout taken. 19 seconds to play here in the first half with the Ravens in front. Palmer, head coach of the Browns. This is a learning process for him. First year as a head coach in the NFL, and also the fact that he is reassessing talent with each game they play. They did not get the first down on that Terry Kirby run, so it will be 4th down upcoming for Cleveland. 19 seconds left, second quarter.
And a lot of the players, going back to Chris Palmer, as you were talking about, Ian, a lot of the people in the NFL and a lot of the fans out there think, well, with the expansion draft and free agency, you can just grab a player here, and just throw them into a mix and you've got a team. It doesn't work that way. It starts from the bottom up, and you've got to find a foundation of core players that can play for you, and that's what Chris Palmer's trying to do. He's going to play everybody out there. He told us yesterday, I want to find my playmakers. I'll play the young guys. I'll play the old guys. I'm going to play everyone.
With a combination of Carmen Policy, team president, and Dwight Clark, the vice president, director of football operations, you have to believe that they will develop something over the next couple of years in Cleveland. Here's Gardocki with Jermaine Lewis waiting. Lewis backtracks from the 14. Lewis, he's dangerous. He couldn't break free, though, as he went across the 25-yard line. Mark Edwards with a tackle following the 57-yard punt. Only 8 seconds on the clock. Baltimore with a 10-0 lead. They're content in running the football, and Eric Redd is content in padding his stats. Marlon Forbes with the tackle, and that is the final play of the first half. Redd, strong performance on the ground for Baltimore in the first half of action. 12 carries, 66 yards for Eric Redd. Stoney Case getting the start for the ineffective Scott Mitchell. Ravens do have the lead, but the Browns still in this football game.
And it's still a tight game, and they need production out of Tim Couch, and they need the players around him to produce and start catching the football.
Ravens and the Browns, a lot of emotions tied in this matchup here in Baltimore, and it is the Baltimore Ravens leading the Browns 10-0. Back, get you ready for second half action. Ian Eagle along with Mark May. A couple of teams looking for their first wins, and it has had the look of a couple of teams looking for their first wins. 2 0-2 teams, and neither team has been able to establish anything consistently in this game.
Not at all. Both quarterbacks haven't really looked comfortable in what they're doing. I think it'll sort itself out in the second half, but I do think that Baltimore is starting to establish the run with Eric Redd. We're going to see a heavy dose of that in the second half.
As for Cleveland, the offense just hasn't been there. Tim Couch has been under some heavy pressure, and the receivers some drops for him as well. Terry Kirby had a drop and Leslie Shepard had a drop. So Couch hasn't caught any breaks as far as that's concerned either.
Not at all. His supporting cast really isn't helping Tim Couch at this point. They've got to catch the ball. That's the receivers. The running backs have to run a little bit harder, but the offensive line has to do a better job of protecting him. He's been sacked 4 times, but harassed about 9.
The other element to this game, and obviously it was the main storyline heading in, the old Browns against the new Browns, really hasn't had that feel once the two teams took the field. Something that Mark talked about earlier. The players just don't get caught up in it.
No, not at this point. If it's a long-standing rivalry, if you had a fight against the guy 3 or 4 years ago and you pick it up as the Redskins did against the Cowboys and I was involved in that, then it's a rivalry and you remember it. But at this point, these are things they can build on for the future. And this will be a rivalry because the fans hate each other.
Brian Billick looking for his first win as a head coach in the NFL. The same goes for Chris Palmer. And the Browns kicking it off to start play here in the second half. This will be returned by Qadri Ismail. And he is slammed down shy of the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at our halftime stats with Baltimore in front 10-0 passing yards. -20 for Cleveland. You say, how could there be -20 passing yards in this game? Well, you incorporate the yards lost after sacks.
And that's been the key. Tim Couch hasn't had a chance to look down the field, to look to a second or third wide receiver. He's been under duress from the rush of the Baltimore Ravens, and that's the key there. Neither one of these quarterbacks are setting the world on fire, but hopefully they'll pick it up in the second half.
Eric Rett not in the backfield. It's Chuck Evans starting play here in the third quarter. Play action. Case stepping up, firing, and picked off. Intercepted by Raheem Abdullah, the rookie out of Clemson, with his first career pick. And the third interception from Stoney Case today.
And this is called forcing the ball in an area where you don't have to. You've got to read the defense. It's the different colored jerseys. And Stoney Case sets back, play action fake, looks down the middle of the field. The defensive linebackers are dropping. He throws it right to the defender right there in front of him. Raheem Abdullah started today's game in front of John Theory because head coach Chris Palmer wanted playmakers. He wanted to find out who can cause turnovers, who can get the big hits, and he found it on that play. Raheem Abdullah came up with the interception. Just a simple drop back for the linebacker.
Off of 1st and 10 from the 33, Terry Kirby able to shuffle the feet and get across the 30-yard line. And a pickup of 4 on first down. Jamie Sharper making the tackle. Cleveland's takeaways: week 1 against Pittsburgh, week 2 against Tennessee, 0. So far today, they've got 3.
And Chris Palmer said, with a new team like this, starting from scratch, you want to take baby steps, one step at a time, crawl before you can walk before you can run. And obviously, they didn't have turnovers before, but now they're finally feasting on some turnovers from the Raiders. They just have to capitalize on it.
On a 2nd and 6. Draw play. Kirby cannot break loose. And he's brought down shy of the 30-yard line. Rob Burnett and Rod Woodson setting up a 3rd and 7, a loss of 1 on the play.
And the key on that play is they need the players around them downfield. You see a bunch of purple jerseys around the running back. They need some white jerseys down there to protect their players. Stoney Case on the sidelines, contemplating what he had to do, his mistakes. He's got to go over it in his mind mentally now, because the next time he takes the field, he's going to be facing a defense that's going to take a shot at him. They're going to blitz him. They're going to try to confuse him.
On a 3rd and 7, a passing situation for Tim Couch. In the pocket, he is hammered. Corey Harris on a safety blitz came in and got to Tim Couch in the backfield.
And this is about the 3rd time Tim Couch has been hit by the blind side. His backside coming from right here. There's Harris right there. No one picks him up. Look at the running backs. Get a hand on him. You can't just put your hands on him. You've got to go nail him, Terry Kirby. Protect your quarterback. Come up and fill the gap. But Tim Couch, he counts on you to protect his backside. That's not a problem of the quarterback. That's the problem of the protection and the offensive lineman and the running back protecting the quarterback's blind side.
Couch was fortunate to get rid of that football for an incomplete pass. Phil Dawson on for the 49-yard field goal attempt. Got enough distance, and it is good. Dawson nails it. So the Browns finally get on the board. 10-3, Ravens with the lead, early stages, 3rd quarter in Baltimore. Baltimore with the Ravens leading Cleveland 10-3. Browns get the field goal off of the turnover. 3rd interception for Stoney Case. 7 straight incomplete passes As the Browns kick it off with Phil Dawson doing the honors. Harris and Ismail are deep. This will be Corey Harris from the 3. Harris has an opening, cutting it back. Corey Harris brought down at the 39-yard line. A 36-yard return, and Marlon Forbes made the tackle on special teams. So the Ravens, their special teams unit, gives Stoney Case good field position to work with here. Case just has to start completing some passes.
He definitely does, and nice job by Corey Harris, but in front of 87 Cotton Israel, get a block somebody down there, touch somebody, but this return is all on Corey Harris. It's a nice job of just taking the ball straight down the field and following your blocker.
Stoney Case getting his first start in a Baltimore uniform, replacing Scott Mitchell, demoted all the way to emergency quarterback. And that's probably it for Scott Mitchell as far as being a starter. He may get himself into a position where he's a backup somewhere else and is forced into duty because of injury. But I don't know of any coach in the NFL that's going to hand him a starting quarterback's job right now.
Not at this time. And if you can't do it for Brian Billick, he's almost the guru of bringing quarterbacks out of their death and putting them back in the NFL and getting them rejuvenated. And if you can't do it with Brian Billick, I don't think you're going to be doing it anywhere else.
Eric Rett running off tackle to the 44-yard line.
And it's almost ironic about Scott Mitchell. The second game last year, he was not only benched, he was deactivated. He was the third quarterback, and the same thing this year. Second game of the season going into the third game, he's not even active on the roster. He's the third quarterback. He's the guy, the emergency guy. And here's a guy that was brought in to be the starter. They paid him $3 million to be the starter for the Ravens this year.
Give is to Rett, hurdling one tackler and brought down just shy of the first down marker. He had to get to the 49-yard line. Eric Rett has been the workhorse. Wally Rayner making the tackle. Looks like it'll be 3rd and 1 for Baltimore.
How about that Eric Rett? He talks so much he forgets he has his mouthpiece in, and he's trying to talk through his mouthpiece, and he pulls his mouthpiece out and he's still talking at him. But you got to like him. He excites his players around him. They get fired up, and you need a guy like that on your team for chemistry to fire everybody else up around him.
4 receiver set with Chuck Evans, the fullback, setting up as a receiver on a 3rd and 1 from the 48. Case stepping up in the pocket, and he doesn't have it. Stoney Case had to get to the 49-yard line, but he was cut down by the combination of McCormick and Barker, and the Cleveland defense holds on a 3rd and 1.
And the problem on this is when it's a short drop like this, the linemen are thinking it's a 3-step drop. He's supposed to get rid of the ball, but the defense does a great job of covering the receivers on the outside, and it doesn't give the quarterback a second option. And being that close to the line of scrimmage, it's almost a sure sack if you can't get rid of the ball.
Both offensive units having their problems here today. That's an understatement. Richardson gets it off. Takes a Baltimore roll as flags come down on the punt. If it stands, Cleveland will have it deep in its own territory, but this one might be coming back. 41-yard punt from Kyle Richardson. So Brian Billick has to deal with yet another penalty on this Ravens team, this time on special teams.
That's one thing you can say about the Cleveland Browns this year. They played smart under Chris Palmer. They haven't had a lot of penalties the entire season. They lead the AFC. They've only had 6 penalties coming into this game.
So we'll get the official word. Bernie Kukar.
Ineligible member of the kicking team, number 50, downfield. It's a 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Brad Jackson illegally downfield, and they'll back it up and re-punt it. Kevin Johnson waits for the Browns, standing at his own 16-yard line. Here's the punt from Richardson. It's a high punt, wobbly. Johnson will catch it cleanly at the 9. Kevin Johnson tried to squeeze through a hole on the sideline, and he's brought down at the 21. Benny Thompson the tackle after the 49-yard punt. 10-3, Ravens. City of Baltimore hosting this matchup. First ever meeting for the Browns and the Ravens. It's a 10-3 lead for Baltimore. Browns have the football, a 1st and 10 at their own 21. Tim Couch throwing. Nice pass to Leslie Shepard and a first down feed to the 35-yard line. Pickup of 14. Dwayne Starks making the tackle. And the Browns just trying to move the football any way they can.
And there's a player they should throw it to, is Leslie Shepard. He has the experience. He led the Washington Redskins in reception and yardage and touchdowns last year. He knows how to get to the end zone. 9 scores last year. And that's a player that Tim Couch needs to find a lot. They need to go out and play catch together. They need to find a go-to guy. They need to go out every day and just throw the ball to find each other, to say, hey, if I get in trouble here, this is where you squat down. On this curl route, I expect you to be at 12. If you go to 14, that's fine. That's the thing that you have to have on offense. The players have to know each other, and the Cleveland Browns just haven't had time to do that.
Shepard signed a 1-year deal with hopes of having a breakout season here in Cleveland. Handoff, Kirby into the line, and not much there. Got to the line of scrimmage, which is the 35. Maybe they give him a yard to the 36. And an injury. Rob Burnett, the former Brown.
He's got a cramp in his
on that defensive line, and a 2nd and 9 for Cleveland from the 36. Couch, timing pattern, looking for Johnson, and it's incomplete. Deron Jenkins with the coverage. Monday on CBS is the King of Queens' wife falling for another. Yes.
the way it should be.
Dwayne Starks. He was injured earlier. He returns for this Baltimore defense, the cornerback. 7 defensive backs on a 3rd and 9, making it tough for Tim Couch. Out of the shotgun, stepping up and throwing, juggled and incomplete. Leslie Shepard under some heat. Dwayne Starks was there defensively, and Shepard just couldn't hold on to the football. Then Browns are forced to punt.
Tim Couch got excellent protection. He gunned that ball in there, but look at the blue jersey surrounding Shepard as soon as he puts his hands on the ball. That's a ball that should have been caught. It should be first down Cleveland, and that's what I'm talking about. They're not getting help from the supporting cast, and Tim Couch needs that help. He's a rookie quarterback. Somebody on Cleveland has to make the play offensively.
7th punt for the former Pro Bowler, Chris Gardocki. Jermaine Lewis has some space to work with. From the 17, Lewis turning it upfield and crossing the 30-yard line for a 14-yard return, 48-yard punt. 10-3, the Ravens in front. Ravens up by a touchdown with a 1st and 10 at their own 31. Case to throw it. Case, tuck and run as he crosses the line of scrimmage and ahead to the 34-yard line. A 3-yard gain. Darius Holland making the tackle. Cleveland Browns. Carmen Policy, the president and CEO. That's him on the right side. Al Lerner, the owner of the team. Bought the franchise. $530 million as it ended up, the entire package. Compare that to Art Modell, who bought the Browns in '61 for $4 million. Case throwing it off for Eric Redd. The controlled offense for the Ravens. Just shy of a 1st down. Ryan McNeil with a tackle. And there's Art Modell. I'm sure emotions swirling about inside his head. But he did what he thought he had to do, and moving this team from Cleveland to Baltimore. Felt he was not getting the backing of the city of Cleveland. 2 sides to every story, as we know. But really, in essence, it worked out for all parties because the Browns fans, they deserved their team, and they got one back.
And they got the team, the name, the colors,
right.
And that's what's great about the situation. But hey, Art Modell's a football guy. He's not a big billionaire. He's a guy that owns a football team, and he's worked hard at it, and he's been involved in the NFL and involved with football for a very long time.
Timeout taken by the Ravens, facing a 3rd down and 1. Well, they converted into a 1st down. We'll find out. 3, Baltimore leading Cleveland, 8:10 to play in the 3rd quarter. And the Ravens with a 3rd and 1 at their own 40-yard line. Brian Billick hoping to keep this drive alive and hoping to add to the lead. It's still a close game despite the fact that the Browns have done very little offensively. Ravens haven't done much more. Pushing the pile, and Stoney Case will get the 1st down himself. So they'll move the chains. And the clock continues to roll with under 8 minutes to play here in the 3rd.
That's what Brian Billick needs to do. Rely on the big guys up front. Jonathan Ogden. He's got two good tackles, Swain and Ogden. Rely on those guys, the offensive line. Get something rolling for the offense, some consistency. Settle your quarterback, Stoney Case, down. Get a couple of first downs and then go to the year.
In the backfield, Chuck Evans. On a 1st and 10 from the 42. Lewis, the motion man. Play action. Case stepping up, throwing the long ball down the sideline for Ismail. Brings it in inside the 15-yard line. He was working on Ryan McNeil, and a little push-off may have created the space that he needed.
No, and that was a big push-off. Usually you try to get sneaky when you push off on a play like that. That's a wide receiver. He just gave him a straight shiver.
Pass interference, 47 defense. First down.
I want to look at this again. There's a little touching, a little bumping by the defense, but at the end of the play, Kadri Ismail, watch him. He just gives him a straight shot in the chest and pushes him away. Here, you're not supposed to have any contact, incidental or not. There's a hand there, that's fine, but right at the end of this play, before he catches it, watch his right arm, right there. If you're going to let him play, you're going to let him play.
Don't throw the flag at all.
Don't throw the flag at all.
So the flag comes down, and the penalty against Ryan McNeil, obviously it's been declined. And now the Ravens in business on a 1st and 10 at the Cleveland 13-yard line. Fairly controversial call. Evans gets the carry. Evans on his feet, barreling over tacklers, and twirled down inside the 5. Jeff Blackshear, the right guard, able to open up a gaping hole.
And Blackshear just moves him out on the right side along with Harry Swain. And you're looking at the defense trying to get a hold of Vincent right here. The running back Evans right here. He just follows his blockers. Good job of cutting off on the backside. There's a block right at the end of the play by Billy Davis, the wide receiver. That's contagious. You want guys downfield. The wide receivers get into it. The running backs downfield. Help your buddies out downfield to pick up extra yardage for the offense.
The lone touchdown we have seen here today came off of a run from Stoney Case. This is a 2nd and 1. Brett, the motion man. Inside handoff. Chuck Evans trying to carry the pile and the momentum over the goal line. Unable to do so, but he did have enough for the first down. Hervin McCormick, the former Cowboy, the first man to get there. And now the Ravens will have 4 cracks at it inside the 2.
And Brian Billick, the offensive genius as he is, I think you go to bread and butter politics here. You don't get cute. You've got 2 big tackles right there. You just want smash mouth football with your fullback and move the chains. Just keep staying with your bread and butter. Follow the big guys from tackle to tackle and slam it into the end zone.
Evans in red in the backfield on a 1st and goal. Armour, the motion man. Case, same play from before. Touchdown.
Did you see that? That was an option. The NFL.
Stoney Case going back to his New Mexico days in college and put 6 on the board for the Ravens.
Now that was a surprise for the defense. I'm sure Chris Palmer surprised on that, and so is the entire defense, but that's nice execution by the offense. Stoney Case going down the line of scrimmage on a quarterback keeper, running the option play. You never see that in the NFL, maybe once or twice a season, but it worked for the Baltimore Ravens. 2nd scoring run for the quarterback, Stoney Case, today.
Has had the 3 interceptions, so Case obviously not satisfied with the afternoon, but you look on the scoreboard, and that's what matters for this Baltimore team, looking for their first win. Matt Stover adds the extra point, and the Ravens now in front, 17-3 with 5.5 to play in the 3rd.
And on the option, you want to seal down, but look at the back at the end of the play here. He's stealing it down to the outside. There's a running back to the outside. Right there with the fake, takes the fake. The defense goes for the fake, cradles the ball into the end zone. Stoney Case for a touchdown. Caught the defense off guard. You don't see the option play. It's tough to defend in the NFL if you haven't seen it or practiced against it, and I don't think the Brown defense have seen it.
Stoney Case was originally a 3rd-round draft pick by the Arizona Cardinals in 1995. Buddy Ryan was the coach. Was very high on Case. Ryan got fired. Tobin came in, and then Case, his role was very much up in the air. But Buddy Ryan told Case the day that he was cleaning out his office, hey, make me look like a genius. Go on and become a big-time NFL quarterback. And now Stoney Case is going to get that chance.
And the bottom line is you win football games. You get your team in the end zone, and that's what he's been able to do. He's thrown some interceptions today. Hasn't looked like a pure quarterback, but he's guided his team down the field and put points on the board, and that's all you can ask for from a quarterback.
7 of 16 throwing the football, 116 yards, the 2 rushing touchdowns, and the 3 interceptions. Well, the Ravens extend their lead, now up by 2 touchdowns. And Baltimore will kick it off with Matt Stover, Ronnie Powell, George Jones are deep for Cleveland. This will be Powell from the 3. Powell nearly spun down at the 20 and eventually is brought down at the 27-yard line. A 24-yard return for Ronnie Powell. James Trapp making the tackles. Holds virtually every passing record at New Mexico, and he told us the other day he's never been the guy here in the National Football League. He's never experienced what that's all about, and finally this week, taking reps with the first team and obviously the media attention, he felt like the guy.
Yeah, but he's earned it. He was drafted fairly early, not early in the 3rd round, paid his dues there, went to the World League, bounced around there, got signed with Indianapolis, got cut before the season started, but he's earned the opportunity to play.
Tim Couch, 5 for 18, just 28 yards passing. On the ground, Terry Kirby sniffed out by Jamie Sharper and brought down shy of the line of scrimmage. It will be a 1-yard loss, 2nd and 11 upcoming.
And you look at this defense, and everybody mentions the Pro Bowlers and Ray Lewis and Michael McCrary, but on the outside, Jamie Sharper, Peter Bower. You talk about 3 linebackers, young linebackers that will lead the NFL through the millennium and set standards for all linebackers. I think it's these 3. They play great as a group. They can attack the quarterback. They can put pressure on it, get sacks. They can drop back in coverage. All these 3 linebackers combined may be the best in the NFL.
Couch throwing. He's got Edwards. Out of bounds on the sideline at the 34-yard line. Peter Boulware brought him down, and it will be a 3rd down upcoming for Cleveland.
24 years old, 3 years experience, couple Pro Bowls, 3 Pro Bowls right there. But as a tandem, these guys as a bunch of 3 guys, they're going to lead the NFL. And what's great about this, Peter Boulware is wearing a shoulder harness. He injured his shoulder. They thought that he might be out for the entire season. He's wearing a harness under his pads, and he's still playing like a Pro Bowler.
On a 3rd and 4. Shotgun, handoff, Kirby. Not enough.
Another one of those linebackers, that's Ray Lewis, right in the midst of things. And it's tough to run against Ray Lewis. Anywhere in the middle of the defense, from tackle to tackle, he's going to be in on a tackle.
The 3 of them have combined for 21 tackles here today.
Wow, we still have another quarter and 3 minutes to go.
And another punt for Chris Gardocki. Jermaine Lewis. Returnable punt. Trying to sidestep a tackler. He could not do it. Brought down at the 32-yard line by James Williams. Let's get an NFL Today report to New York at Jim Nantz.
And what an update it is. A beautiful run, maybe the best run of the day. It's Tim Biakabatuka of Carolina. Reversing his field, he will break a record he had set in the first half. Longest touchdown run in Carolina history. First half, 62 yards for the mark. Now the new record, 67 yards by Biakabatuka in Carolina. And George Seifert may be on their way to their first win. Let's go back to Ian and Mark.
Jim, thank you. We spoke with Biakabatuka last week. He told us how crucial a year this is for him to try to shed that label of being a borderline bust in the NFL. And a handoff for Eric Rett. Just keeps the feet moving and emerges through a hole at the 40-yard line. An 8-yard gain on first down. Everett Lindsey, the left guard, pulling out to make the block.
A great job by the offensive line. And the right guard, Jeff Blackshear, lost his helmet on the play, and he still stayed with his block. And that's what's selling out for your buddy Eric Rett. Right here, pushing the pile. Blackshear, look at his helmet's off. He's a tough guy. He's a tough guy right there. He got his helmet knocked off, and he still buried the defender and put him on his back. That's offensive line blocking. He makes my all-May team. Forget the Mad team. It's an all-May team. I like that.
The all-May team, huh? You have a sponsor on that yet?
Iron Eagle.
I don't have the kind of cash you're looking for. Eric Rett on 2nd and 2. Flags are down. He's right at the first down marker. We'll see what the penalty is. Looks like it'll work against Baltimore.
It's usually the area holding to the offensive line in the pit.
It is.
And Brian Billick's not happy with that. As soon as you get something going and get it gelled.
69 offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Well, Blackshear lost his helmet, and
Now he lost him Holding penalty. It cost him a holding penalty. That's one of the situations where you don't want to shoot your foot in the, yourself in the foot. I just get done bragging on a player, on Jeff Blackshear, and this is what he does the following play. Maybe I should take back those kudos I gave him from the following play.
From losing his helmet to losing his head on successive plays. And that is the 6th penalty on the Ravens. This has not been a crisp afternoon for either offense. 17-3, Baltimore leading it. Ball knocked down and tipped at the line of scrimmage by Darius Holland. So Stoney Case fortunate that that wasn't interception number 4 against him.
For Stoney Case, we talked about this before. He just doesn't look comfortable dropping back in the pocket. When he makes something happen, he rolls out to his side. He ran the option earlier on the goal line. He ran an open boot in for a touchdown before that. But when he makes completions, he moves the pocket so he can see better down the field of play.
You know, one other point I would make is it's a little different when a defense prepares for you specifically as opposed to coming in off the bench and maybe catching a defense unnerved and not ready for what you bring to the field.
Absolutely. And Stoney Case looks like the defense for Cleveland. They've got his number.
Complete. Jermaine Lewis tried to turn it upfield and will not be enough for a first down as he got to the 40-yard line. A 9-yard pass play, but it's 4th down for Baltimore and a punt upcoming.
Jermaine Lewis is a player that they think a lot of, particularly Brian Billick, the head coach.
Well, Lewis, the questions with him, Mark, have to do with building chemistry with a quarterback because there has been no consistency with him whatsoever. Punt from Richardson. And the fair catch signal made by Damon Gibson. Back at his own 17-yard line. 43-yard punt. Coming up Friday on CBS, New York Magazine calls Now and Again the best thing by far on any of the networks. Don't miss an all-new episode Friday on CBS, America's most watched network, as proven in Premier Week. 1:28 left in the 3rd quarter, and the clock will start to roll with Baltimore in front, 17-3. Tim Couch. It has been a long afternoon. And a dump off for Kirby. And he's ridden down shy of the 20-yard line. Jamie Sharper with a tackle. They'll give him a pickup of probably 3 on first down, setting up 2nd and 7.
And the toughest down to run a screen on is first down because the defense, they're reading run. Consciously, they're thinking run on first down. And here's the situation. Instead of attacking the quarterback, it's tough to make it work because the defensive linemen play the keyboard and work down the line of scrimmage. And for Tim Couch, hurried 10 times. And, you know, you can see right there, he's just not getting a chance to operate this offense. He's not getting the protection up front.
Under a minute left now in the 3rd. Couch forced out of the pocket on the move. Pump fake from Couch, trying to run it. And he's brought down by Deron Jenkins. Had to get to the 27-yard line for the first down. And it was enough for a new set of downs for the Browns to work with.
And a nice job of going after the first down by Tim Couch. But one thing he wants to learn, he's going to learn from Chris Palmer, is to slide. Don't take those hits, particularly at this stage in your career. We want you to learn how to slide.
Doesn't look like the Browns will go to the line of scrimmage for the final play of the 3rd quarter. We just saw the final play of the 3rd quarter, a first down run by Tim Couch. End of the 3rd with the score, Baltimore 17, the Browns 3. We'll return with 4th quarter action after this message and a word from your local station. Baltimore start of the 4th quarter. Iron Eagle, Mark May. And a nice look at Fort McHenry in the Baltimore area, the birthplace of the Star-Spangled Banner. Tim Couch stepping up in the pocket, trying to scramble, and finds the open receiver, Terry Kirby. Off to the races for Kirby. And he's finally tracked down at the 10-yard line. Tim Couch made that play happen, and Kirby was able to get a form of separation for a big gainer. 60 yards.
Outstanding job by Tim Couch of making something happen out of nothing. Here, a play action fake, goes back, there's nobody open, he gets pressure, he tries to make something happen, but Terry Kirby stays with him and finds a way to get open as he drifts out of the backfield, and then it's off to the races. Turn on the Jets now, let's go as far as we can go, and he gets caught right at the end by the old man on his ankle. Rod Woodson catches him just before he can get into the goal line. Nice play by Terry Kirby.
Longest reception of his career. Cedric Shaw in the backfield. Couch, timing pattern, the fade to the end zone. Kevin Johnson's got it. Touchdown, Browns. He was working on Dwayne Starks. And for the second consecutive week, that combination of Couch to Johnson has produced a touchdown. Thanks in large part to the work of Terry Kirby prior to it.
Now, he made the play go, but what's great on this play, both of these players are roommates. They talk about things like this. They work on that. Hey, if you're going to throw the fade, this is where I want to catch it. Kevin Johnson tells Tim Couch. Tim Couch says, if that's where you want it, I'm going to put it exactly where you need it. Perfect timing between wide receiver and quarterback.
Phil Dawson out of the hold of Chris Gardocki. The Browns very much in this football game. The most points they have scored in a game this season. And they trail 17-10 early in the fourth.
カウチもちょっとずつパス通し出してきましたので、もう爆発力、すぐ短い時間で得点を取る能力というのが、バルティモア。
Second career touchdown for Tim Couch. Both have gone to Kevin Johnson. And the play prior to the touchdown to Terry Kirby set it all up. First half, 4 of 14 throwing the football. Second half, a different story. Kickoff from Phil Dawson. Corey Harris from the 2. Harris takes it out to the 30-yard line. Couch and Johnson trying to model themselves after the combination of Manning and Harrison in Indianapolis.
And this play looks like a nice job by Harrison of pushing off and keeping his eyes on the football. Where Starks' back is towards the ball, he knows where the ball is and makes a play at the ball. That's what you want from playmakers. And Kevin Johnson and Tim Couch, you're going to see a lot of that in the future.
Mark mentioned the fact that they're roommates on the road. The only thing they don't agree upon is the music selection. Tim Couch likes country and western, and Kevin Johnson likes rap music. And I guess they're playing a little more rap than country music in that room. So says Kevin Johnson. On the flip, Eric Rett creating after the catch. And driven out of bounds as he crosses the 45-yard line. A 16-yard pass play. Jameer Miller had a chance to bring him down early, could not, and Rett made the Browns pay.
A better job by the offensive line. A 2 count, throw the defenders towards the quarterback. Nice job. Look at the blue jerseys out in front. 3 guys out there making blocks for Eric Rett, and they all get blocks. 1, 2, 3. The only person that comes over the top, Marlon Forbes at the end of the play making the tackle, but nice job by the offensive line, disguising the screen, getting your 2 count, and throwing the defenders to the backfield.
Over 100 yards total for Rett, combining rushing and receiving. That time he plunged into the line and got a couple. 2-yard gain to the 48. Raheem Abdullah making the tackle, the rookie. Second-round pick from Clemson.
And I like Eric Rett. I like what he's done for this offense, what he's done for this team, listening to the players talk about him, the coaches talk about him, the spark that he brings. And he just wants to do and be the best that he can. He said, I treat every carry in practice and in the game like it's my last, so I give it 120%.
On a 2nd and 8. Lewis, that wide turn, and now sets up in the backfield. It will be Jermaine Lewis getting the call. As Lewis tried to get to midfield, he got a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Roy Barker, the tackle. So the element of surprise didn't work on the Cleveland defense. It's 3rd and 7 coming up. Barker goes to the sidelines. The Browns defense trying to hold here and get the football back. Coming up, the American General postgame show. Join all the gang in New York with the scores and highlights from today's action around the NFL. That's coming up on the American General postgame show. On 3rd and 7, Case throwing to the sideline. Lewis trying to turn inside. Doesn't have enough for the first down. Dalen McCutcheon making the tackle, and the Ravens will punt. Cleveland will get the football back, trailing by just a touchdown. Still a lot of time left here in the 4th quarter.
That's a pretty good job by the defense, setting up the offense, letting him have an easy completion, and you tackle him before you get the first down. They played right into the Cleveland defense's hand.
Kyle Richardson on. Damon Gibson waits at his own 10. Richardson gets the punt off, and a fair catch signal called for by Gibson. Why is the question. He had some room to work with. 36-yard punt. Browns have the football when we come back.
12ヤードからスタートですから88ヤードのロングドライブがあって
ロングドライブありました。
タッチダウンをすれば面白いじゃないですか。
面白いですよ。
ちょっとカウチはねちょっと
Our aerial shots today courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Goodyear currently maintains a 7 blimp fleet, 3 in the United States and 4 international blimp operations. Thanks, gentlemen, as always. Browns trailing 17-10 on a 1st and 10 from the 12. Able to get it off for Mark Edwards. And he's brought down by Jamie Sharper. Pickup of 3, depending upon where they spot the football, should be at the 15-yard line.
And in just the last 3 or 4 plays, Tim Couch looks like he has more confidence in the players around him. They're catching the football. They're doing things after the catch. He's getting a little bit of protection by the guys up front, a little bit better than he has. And looks like he's got that confidence. But here he's in a situation backed up, and he's got the hostile crowd behind him. It's a learning situation for an NFL quarterback.
And the numbers certainly go along with what you're saying. 5 straight completions for Couch. On a 2nd and 7. Couch comfortable in the pocket, firing and laid out Mark Campbell. He took a shot. Rod Woodson. Well, it's a new position, and I think it fits Rod Woodson.
Yeah, it may be new to Rod Woodson, but he's still the hitter of old. And right here just decks Mark Campbell. That's a perfect hit. Clean hit, hits him right in the chest with his forearms and chest. What a hit by the safety, Rod Woodson. The ex-cornerback, Pro Bowler, has done it all in the NFL. That's what you do to liven up the fans, liven up the crowd, liven up your teammates, get everybody jacked up. That's what you want to do as a free safety. And Rod Woodson, he may go back to another Pro Bowl at the free safety position. That's just a heck of a hit.
Randy Palmer comes in to replace Mark Campbell at tight end, who just took that shot on a 3rd and 7. That shot fired the crowd up. 3rd down, Couch throwing. Incomplete. He was looking for Leslie Shepard. And the Browns will punt. That is the kind of play that can get the crowd re-energized, and it certainly worked. Fans came to their feet following the Woodson hit.
And just a hit like that, and speaking as an ex-player, when you're on the field and you're on the sidelines and you see a hit like that, it just brings you alive. It's saying, hey, great for my team, great for my guy out there. You get fired up and you want to go out and hit somebody else in the mouth, but that is a key play for Rod Woodson in the defense.
9th punt of the day for Gardocki. Here's Jermaine Lewis. On the outside, Lewis forced out of bounds in Cleveland territory. An 18-yard return. Mark Edwards will be given credit for the tackle. Ravens, good field position when we return.
嬉しいですね。
いいですね。
いやしかしまた今のはモメンタムが成した技ですよね。
そうですね、乗ってきたということです、さあブラウンズに一瞬流れいったように思った。
7-point differential with 10:19 to play in the 4th quarter. Ravens in front, 17-10. They have the football, a 1st and 10 at the Cleveland 42. Pierce shifts over to the other side of the line with Evans and Redd in the backfield. On the ground, Eric Redd finding a hole and brought down as he got across the 35-yard line, very close to a 1st down. Jeff Blackshear and Chuck Evans helping out with the blocking.
Nice job by Harry Swain, the right tackle. A turnout block, get your hands in there, force him to the outside, create a lane for your running back, and stay on the defender. That's a nice job by Harry Swain. Came over from the Denver Broncos 2 times, world champions with Denver, went to another Super Bowl while I was at San Diego, and figure this, he was a champion figure skater when he was a teenager.
I want to see video.
We asked him for a picture yesterday. He just said, nah.
On the handoff for Rhett, that is a 1st down run for Baltimore and a new set of downs. And Harry Swain said one of the reasons why he came here as a free agent, very comfortable with the system, that combination, that hybrid West Coast offense, and also a system that you played in,
And it was a Washington Redskins system. It went out to San Diego. We played under that system because we played together in San Diego. And Mike Shanahan took the passing system from that system that he had in San Francisco at one time and combined it with Alex Gibbs, the offensive line coach and assistant head coach, and combined their running games together. So this system's a part of that system. And the majority of the terminology, the play calling, everything in this offense is just like what Harry's used to. That was the reason why he came here.
Stoney Case looking for it all. Down the sideline, incomplete. Jermaine Lewis, the intended receiver. And Dalen McCutcheon, the rookie, was there, stride for stride. And I can understand Brian Billick trying to ice this game, but the running game is working right now.
And we talked about this before. When you've got a running game that's successful, why do you want to put even more pressure on it? You've got a situation where it's first down, you're picking up chunks of yardage, 5, 6, 7 yards on first down. Stick with your running game. The guys up front are doing a great job. Your running backs are giving the extra effort, getting you positive yardage. Why go through it on first down of taking your shots downfield at this point in the game? I don't understand.
There's the bootleg. Stoney Case angles his run out of bounds as he got inside the 30-yard line. Not much there. Pickup of 2, maybe 2.5. Coming up Tuesday on CBS, it's an all-new episode of Jag. Catch David James Elliott and Catherine Bell in America's #1 action drama. That's Jag. It's Tuesday on CBS.
And I've been in situations with offenses that sometimes coordinators, they just get too cute. It's like, okay, the running game's work. Let's try this. It should open it up. And let's try this. It's like, no, let's keep with what we're doing well and just stay with it until they stop us.
Ravens are 1 for 10 on third down conversions. They now face a 3rd and 7. High snap out of the shotgun. Case handles it. Throw it to the sideline and caught by Lewis. First down, Baltimore, inside the 20-yard line. Nifty little move for Jermaine Lewis to move the chains.
How about Stoney Case? You get the feeling with Stoney Case, unless he's under arrest, he can't make anything happen. If he gets perfect protection and perfect route to run, he just can't get the job done. But if he's got a problem right here, it's a high snap. It goes through his hands, comes down with it, juggles it, but he keeps his concentration and stays with his read, looks to the outside for Jermaine Lewis, and he catches the ball and makes another move after the catch to get the first down. But Stoney Case, that was a great play.
He's better in Bedlam. You're right. When everything has been laid out for him, he has not been able to make the plays consistently. On a 1st and 10 now from the 20. There's a pump fake. A throw to the end zone over the head of Ismail. Incomplete.
We talked about perfect protection. Wide receiver beats the defensive back, and Kadri Ismail, he can't drop the ball in there. But if he was running for his life, it would have been a touchdown throw. But on the outside, Kadri Ismail makes a good hit, a stop-and-go move, and just takes Dalen McCutcheon to the cleaners, and he's wide open for the touchdown. And Stoney Case, he's got all day. He's not looking anyplace else. There's the fake pump. Right there. Good protection by the guys up front. The offensive line did an outstanding job.
Billy Davis checking into the game as a wide receiver for Baltimore. This is a 2nd and 10. Case, his numbers, 3 interceptions. Again, a rollout for Stoney Case. On the move, Case. Chugging his way to the sideline. He was dragged down from behind by Jameer Miller. But Stoney Case with a 7-yard run, setting up a 3rd and 3.
He is at his best when he's under pressure. That's one thing I do like about Stoney Case, but he's tracked down from the back here by Jameer Miller. He's got the angle on him, but Stoney Case puts the ball down and gets extra yards for the offense. But if he keeps his eye on Billy Davis right there, that's a touchdown strike.
Looked like Case was thinking run the whole way.
It was. He's had more success running the ball in this situation. When he gets inside the 20, he's had success getting to the goal line, running the football.
2 rushing touchdowns today for Case. 7 carries, 33 yards. This is a 3rd and 3 and a bad snap. Out of the shotgun, Case forced to retreat and trample on the football. Huge error. They're backed up all the way to the 35.
Center Jeff Mitchell, that's just a bad snap. In a crucial situation where you can nail this game shut, that snap wasn't even over his head, it was off to his right. But a nice play by Stoney Case of having the determination of getting back, turning around, and getting on the football.
A loss of 22 yards on the play. So instead of a guaranteed field goal attempt, basically that was the only thing that could happen barring a turnover that would keep the Ravens from putting points on the board. Now they've got to send Kyle Richardson onto the field. Damon Gibson waiting. Richardson looking for the corner. handled well by the Baltimore special teams. Richardson happy with himself as it's downed at the 1-yard line. James Trapp making the play. Mitchell has something to think about. Baltimore up by just 7.
ますよね。
しかしジェームス・トラップという38番の選手が取りましたけども、ああいうまともなプレーをするんだなと感心して、結構ラフプレーで。
ラフプレー多いですよね。
Great day for football here in Baltimore. First ever meeting, the Browns and the Ravens. Baltimore with a 17-10 lead, and now it's on the defense to maybe seal the deal against the Browns. Couch throwing from his own end zone down the sideline and incomplete. Shepard, the intended man, Dwayne Starks there defensively.
That's a big call by offensive coordinator Chris Palmer. Backed up like that, going for it all, right down the sideline. The ball's just overthrown. Dwayne Starks makes a play on the ball, but Leslie Shepard never had a chance. But that's ice in your veins, making a play call like that. Backed up, rookie quarterback, hostile environment. The fans are 15 yards behind you, screaming and yelling at you. That's a big-time call out of Chris Palmer.
Starks had 5 interceptions last season as a rookie, tying the top honors in that category with Charles Woodson. Throwing out of the end zone and complete to Kevin Johnson. He's driven all the way back, but obviously the forward progress will get him out of the end zone. Deron Jenkins with the tackle. See where they spot the football. Put it on the 8-yard line. And let's call it a 3rd and 3.
Deron Jenkins playing soft off the ball. If you're going to give that much cushion, you're going to catch the football every time. And what I like about the situation is he fields a common bond with Kevin Johnson. Even though they're roommates, it's almost like, hey, when I'm in trouble or if I need a big play, I'm going to Kevin Johnson.
A 3rd and 3 from the 8. Couch. Good protection, throwing over the middle, incomplete, and flags come down. Mark Edwards was the intended receiver, and Ray Lewis just used the body to shove him as the ball was coming into the area.
Pass interference, 52 defense. First down.
That's Lewis.
And that was a play where Ray Lewis had excellent coverage. He didn't have to hit him with his body, and he didn't have to reach across the top at the end of this play to knock it out of there. He had good coverage right there. He comes over the shoulder with his left arm, and then he bows him with his right arm and knocks Edwards down. But he did not have to do that. That's a play of just being over-aggressive.
7th Raven penalty, and it keeps this Cleveland drive alive. 17-10. Baltimore leading the Browns. 1st and 10 at the 16. Couch has gained confidence here in the second half. Couch in the pocket, throwing on the run, too high for Mark Edwards. He had Edwards open, but just could not find him. Can't make it to the stadium? You can still get all of your favorite team gear, caps, jerseys, much more. Plus the shipping is free. Just click on NFL at cbs.sportsline.com. Clock is stopped with 5:10 remaining in the 4th. And a 2nd and 10 for Cleveland at their own 16. Kirby by himself in the backfield. A 3-receiver look for the Browns. Couch trying to set up the screen. They do for Kirby. Not much there. Gets ahead to the 19-yard line. 3-yard gain. Corey Harris the tackle. Now another 3rd down for this Browns offense to face.
They've got to come up with something big. They've got to protect up front. But what I liked about that last play, the defense, Deron Jenkins on the play. Corey Harris running underneath the blockers to make a big play. But Tim Couch, he's going to need the supporting cast to step up big time here. Here's the situation, down by 7, less than 5 minutes. Someone on the offense has to come up with a play. One of these wide receivers, Johnson or Shepard, has to catch the football for the 1st down.
On a 3rd and 7, 4 receivers. Couch in the pocket, plenty of time, throwing incomplete. 2 receivers in the vicinity, and he couldn't find either one of them, Kevin Johnson or Leslie Shepard. And the Browns will punt.
And both wide receivers on the outside, they make a break and they're open, but Tim Couch gets the ball just a little late. Right here, making your break, get open, right there, find a way to get open. But Kevin Johnson, you've got to come back to the ball. Once you squat in your area and a defender's with you, you've got to come back towards the football and make something happen.
Punt number 10 on the day for Chris Gardocki. Jermaine Lewis had a strong return his last attempt. Plenty of room. from the 24. Lewis moving in the wrong direction, and he's brought down at the 25-yard line. A 56-yard punt. Marquis Smith making the tackle on special teams. So the Cleveland defense, Chris Palmer will hope that they can hold this Baltimore offense once again and at least give the Browns offense a season premiere of Touched by an Angel, followed by the CBS Sunday movie A Song from the Heart tonight on CBS. Running the football, Eric Rett. Back-to-back 100-yard games for Eric Rett last week and this week. First time he had done it last week since 1995 December as a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Today, 19 carries, 107 yards.
And that's a big day for Eric Rett, and the guys up front have done an outstanding job. You watch it, it's contagious. The guys will run downfield and get an extra block for a running back like Eric Rett, and they've been doing that this afternoon.
Line of scrimmage is the 36. Inside hand. The fullback, Chuck Evans, as we hit the 3-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Ravens hope to control the clock and win their first game of the season. On the handoff, Eric Rett. Wally Rayner with the tackle, and now we'll think of it solely as Browns versus Ravens. On a 3rd and 8, and the Ravens cannot convert again. Kadri Ismail trying to come back
to throw the ball, but just couldn't execute offensively.
8th punt of the day for Kyle Richardson. 10 for Chris Gardocki, so a combined 18 punts. Damon Gibson sidesteps initially, but he was brought down. Tried to get back on his feet. Ravens have a 17-10 advantage. Browns have the football. Tim Couch has looked more comfortable here in the second half. Does he have anything left to lead the Browns down the field and put a touchdown on the board, trailing by 7? 4 receivers out of the shotgun. Couch on a 1st and 10 from the 26. This has worked for them all day. Terry Kirby, little safety valve, and a flag comes down after the play was over.
And that was a late flag. I believe it was a face mask right at the end of the play.
It wasn't. First down. Spot the football at the 32. Seven-point differential. This is a 1st and 4 after the penalty. Couch throwing the deep ball down the sideline. Kevin Johnson intercepted. Chris McAllister. A couple of rookies dueling on the sideline, and the defensive rookie wins out. Second interception of the season for him, but a very costly one. Ravens will try to run out the clock, and that will help. Eric Rett comes up just shy of the 35-yard line. A solid gainer on first down as Miller and McNeil combine. And this job for a longer period of time. They didn't expect Couch in week 2. Play action. Complete. Chuck Evans. First down, Baltimore. As we hit the 2-minute warning, a 10-yard pass play. Ravens 17. Brown, his 2nd career interception, the son of former Eagles and Patriots running back James McAllister, number 10 pick. Overall, out of Arizona, the entire defense, they have done the job here today, making it difficult for Tim Couch and the Browns to establish any rhythm offensively. As we hit the 2-minute warning with a 1st and 10 for Baltimore at their own 44. Double tight end set. Hand off to Eric Rett. Wally Rayner, the first man to get there.
The NFL. Tim Couch will get to that point.
Bootleg again for Stoney. Case running the football. Case tacking on extra yardage, remaining on his feet. A 28-yard run for Stoney Case and a big smile on his face. Art Modell, maybe the first time today that he smiled.
And as now he knows it's in the bag. Before he was a little tense because it's not over till it's over, but at this point.
All the Ravens have to do now is run out the clock. Take a knee. And time will tick away from the Cleveland Browns, who will drop to 0-3. Ravens will win their first game of the young season. They had never opened the season 0-2. This their 4th year in Baltimore. They will improve to 1-2 with a matchup next week against the Atlanta Falcons. The Browns will be home for New England. And Brian Billick, his first win as a head coach in the NFL, coming over from Minnesota as the offensive coordinator, and a big reputation for putting points on the board. Final snap, and that's it. In the first ever meeting between the Ravens and the Browns, Baltimore comes away with a victory, 17-10 over Cleveland. An instant rivalry, maybe, but a rivalry that will certainly develop more so when these two teams improve over the years in the AFC Central. 17-10, the final score here in Baltimore. The Ravens with their first victory of the season. Right now, let's send it.